Hello there, and peace to you wherever you are in the world, and welcome. In today's video, we're going to learn about how to make a bustier with a yoke. Unfortunately, black color doesn't really allow you to see all the outlines, but I'll make sure I explain it to you in the tutorial. First things first, you want to determine your bust round. Knowing the bust round will help you determine how high or low you want your bust to be, or your bustier to be, whether it's a low cleavage or a high or just full coverage. So you will get the measurement from your under bust to the bust point, and then from the bust point up, you go up on towards the chest line. I chose half an inch more just because I prefer more coverage and a more modest coverage for myself. Using a curved ruler, I determined the shape of the bustier, starting from the center front and also determining how deep I want the neckline to be. So I didn't make mine so deep. I prefer, like I said, I prefer more modest. Then from the side seam, I went in by 1.5 inches. And marked, and then from that point I went down by half an inch. Then I'm going to connect this with a continuous line from the center front line to create the bustier of the shape of the bustier from the center front to the side seam. Then of course I used a marker so it will be more visible for you. And then from there I'm going to connect my bust point to the neck point, to the neckline. And now we're going to tighten the under bust. This gives you that slim look, so it can fit really well or really snatched at the under bust all the way to your waistline. So I got the measurement here, and using this measurement I will mark on the dart, and then the measurement I got I divided by 2, and from that point I mark on both sides of the dart. So from the center line of the dart I go 2 sides on the under bust line. I hope you understand that. Then I connect it to the waistline, or the legs of the dart at the waistline on both sides, as you can see me do there with the marker. And then of course to the bust point using a curved ruler. Next, we're going to contour the neckline, and to do this, we're first of all going to get that measurement at the under bust and then minus 0.5 inches from it. Then the answer you get, you're going to further divide it into 2 and then mark it on both sides. So for example, if this measurement is 2 inches or 2.5 inches, I'll say 2.5 minus 0.5 is 2 inches, then divide the 2 inches by 2 to get 1 inch. So I'm going to take 1 inch on one side and 1 inch on the other side, and then I'm going to connect all this to the bust point. And then this you're going to cut this out. And as you can see, the bustier is already taking shape. And for the back, I'm going to fold the side dart. Once that's done, I'm going to determine where the lines kind of match up at the back. That is the side seam of the back and the side seam of the front. Before we achieve that, we have to cover up the space, or rather make up for the space that was created, or the shortage that was created once we folded the side dart. So that's what you see me doing here. So once that is done, I cut off the excess and align the back and the front. Alright, so once that is done, I'm going to mark the point where they meet. And then I'm going to connect this to the back. That is from the side seam all the way to the back. And this creates both the yoke and then the back part of the bustier. So I'm going to cut this out. So we have the yoke and the bustier part, or the down part. And I also cut out the fitting lines along the waist. These style lines are part of the basic bodice drafting, and they usually help to give your waistline the shape and to give it a good fit, and as well as to avoid the bulging that usually happens in the back. I decided I do not want to have the dart in the back, so I removed the dart. At first we label back, center back, side side, or side seam rather. And I fold in the dart. And my back piece is ready. So first things first, you have to align and make sure everything fits so that there's no irregularities with the pattern. Then for the front, I cut this off. I cut off the yoke. Once this is done, I remove the excess of the front as well, separating the first piece, that is from the center front to the bust point, as well as from the bust point to the side seam. So obviously that needs smoothing at the bust point because you don't want it to be very pointy. So I did this much later, but it should have been in the video. So always make sure to take your time to align all the points and see that they align, so that once you cut them out of the fabric, you won't have any excesses that confuse your sewing. So first, after this, everything seems okay with the two pieces. So I do the same with the top part. I join where the joining will be. That is with the center piece and the side piece. And then I align that with the yoke, and obviously because we cut off I cut off the excess for the dart, so that means that there will be some space left to be filled at the side seam. Obviously this will not fit or match up with the yoke. So to achieve this, I attached an extra paper at the side seam. And using the yoke, I align them to see how they fit, and then I obviously walk the yoke along the bustier and see where the space, see how they're going to align, and then I'm going to mark the excess that is needed. or rather I'm going to mark the lacking space. So I draw this amount, and then I'm going to blend it to the side seam. So I use my curve ruler and blend this to the side seam. And at this point now, I'm confident that all the pieces are aligned, and we have the front as well as the back. And there you have it. This is how I drafted my bustier, and I used this and made a full dress. I attached it to a skirt and made a full dress, as you saw in the beginning of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be sure to see you on the next video. Have a good one wherever you are. Thank you.